On the eve of my 30th birthday, I received a voicemail from my father. Megan, this is Dad. My dad always insisted on announcing himself, even though his thick Alabama accent was unmistakable. I wanted to let you know that while we were married, your mother was a royal slut. And I'm going to need you to take a DNA test because I don't think you're mine. Oh, and happy birthday. Click. What? Okay, wow, a DNA test. Okay. So, I went to my mom and I asked her if this was true or not. And honestly, y'all, if it was, I wouldn't have blamed her. My father was a revered Southern Baptist minister and a world-renowned theologian, beloved by his students and worshiped by his congregation. No one said no to John Hayes. He preached the word of God, while simultaneously presenting his own words as the word of God as well. And growing up as his daughter, that was super confusing for me. I remember being a teenager and being Dad, hold on. Dad, are you grounding me or is God grounding me? Because I can't tell, it's really confusing. Everybody obeyed him, and no one seemed to notice his whole mess of contradictions. He was a Princeton graduate, Fulbright scholar who sounded like an uneducated redneck. He could read 12 languages, including Hebrew and Arabic, but in class, he chewed tobacco while he taught. He always carried his little cup everywhere he went to spit into. It was so disgusting. And my dad was so cheap that when my family all went out to dinner, he would, mom and dad were only allowed to order 1 cup of coffee. And my dad got to drink it, and my mom had to share his cup of coffee just so he could save that 50 cents. I remember one time my mom's family took us out for this super fancy pants dinner, and they brought us those finger bowls to cleanse your hands in between courses, and my dad thought that was a soup bowl, and he picked it up and drank it, which was very odd. Also, if you thought it was a soup bowl, dude, use a spoon. So. Anyway, he also wore these shirts that were way too tight, and they were covered in tobacco stains. My dad was a world traveler. He had traveled the world extensively, and yet he lived on a farm in rural Alabama, a cow farm, where he named and befriended every single one of his cows and wept every time he sent one of them to slaughter. Everybody, I know, right? Everybody loved my dad. But behind closed doors, my dad suffered from unmedicated schizophrenia. So, being between the unmonitored mental illness and the you have to share a coffee cup when we go out to dine, I really couldn't blame my mom for having an affair or 2 or 10. So I asked her if this was true, and she swore that she had not strayed. And I was like, come on, Mom, you can tell me, it's really okay, I don't care. And she was like, no, Megan, I swear, I never. So my next question is well, why now? Why does he, blood or not, he was my father. He raised me. Why does he need me to take a DNA test? I know what it is. He wants to write me out of his will. Leave everything to my batshit crazy therapist sister, who adored him. My therapist sister's been on Dr. Oz, by the way. I hope she's not watching this live stream. I hope she's not one of the 2. So I leave everything to my sister, who adored my father. It's fine. I did not want his money. I did not want anything from him. And I told him this over sushi lunch at Momo Ya in Atlanta, Georgia. That is a real restaurant. I told my father that I agreed to take the DNA test because no one says no to John Hayes, but after that, I didn't want to see him ever again. I arrived at the Any Lab Test facility before my father. It was located at a strip mall upstairs from a party city. Like I had always wondered who went to those Any Lab Test places. Apparently I did. I was greeted by a very large lab technician, and I told her that I was here for a DNA test. And she then asked me, where was the kid? And I said, well, ma'am, I am the kid. Wait a second, but you're grown. I know. Oh, I know. And she just shook her head and went, men. Right? So finally, my dad arrives, the life of the party, and we swab our cheeks with Q-tips. Done. I leave in a dramatic fury, and my father trails after me. He's like, hey, if you ain't gonna see me again, I'm taking the car. See, I had just moved back to Atlanta from New York City, and my father had offered to let me drive one of his 2 Buick LeSabres until I could buy a car. And he holds out his hand. And begrudgingly, I give him the keys. He then locks Smokey Joe, that was the Buick LeSabre that I was borrowing, hops into his Buick LeSabre and drives away, leaving me stranded in front of Party City, which, in case you were wondering, is the last place you want to be if you're not in a party mood. 6 weeks later, I got another voicemail. Megan, this is Dad. You're mine. Click. Damn it. Secretly, I was hoping to be a love child. Years later, when we were cleaning out my father's house after he passed away, I found my DNA results, and I took them with me to LA just in case. I ever got the balls to tell this story, and I just happened to bring them tonight. So, shall we read the results out loud? Yeah. Yes. I don't know. I don't know if y'all can see or not, but the results are covered with tobacco stains. There, see, right there. It's really gross. Okay. So we've got child, Megan Elizabeth Hayes, and then it says. Alleged father. Alleged. John Harrelson Hayes. Probability of paternity. 99.996%. Yes, Dad. Yes. I'm yours. Because not even the DNA test can say no to John Hayes. Thank you.
Megan Hayes, ladies and gentlemen.